Good morning, everybody. It's 9:30. We call the August 10th, 2021 meeting of the Millcreek Township Board of Supervisors to order. Would you please rise for the pledge? Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being televised live online, go live via youtube.com, Millcreek Township /meetings, and recorded by WQLN for viewing on Spectrum Channel 1024 and youtube.com with closed captioning. Members of the public may attend in person in the General Assembly Room. Persons who wish to offer testimony at any hearing or to offer comments during the public comment portion of the meeting, but who do not wish to attend in person, must contact the Township Secretary, Cheryl Williams, at 833-1111 or swilliams@millcreektownship.com no later than 24 hours before the scheduled meeting to make arrangements to participate via telephone. Okay, the first item on our agenda is the swearing in of Animal Control and Code Enforcement Officer Richard Lyle. Captain Mook, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Mr. Ouellette. I would like to introduce the new Millcreek Township Animal Enforcement Officer Richard Lyle, age 25. Richard replaces former Animal Enforcement Officer Tim Stevenson, who retired in late July of this year. Richard was raised in the Cleveland, Ohio area, where he graduated in 2014 from Mayfield High School. He later studied criminal justice at a post-secondary trade school near Cleveland and worked for the Mayfield, Ohio Police Department in various law enforcement capacities. Richard will be training with former Animal Enforcement Officer Stevenson for approximately 4 to 6 weeks. His father, his grandfather, and several of his uncles are either current or former police officers for various municipalities in the Cleveland, Ohio area. Richard has one daughter and resides locally in the Girard, PA area.
Okay, thanks, Captain Mook. Okay, Richard, if you would come forward, Supervisor Bach will administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Richard D. Lyle, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this Commonwealth, and that I will discharge the duties of Animal Enforcement Code Enforcement Officer in Millcreek Township, Erie County with fidelity. Congratulations, Richard.
Thank you, sir.
Richard, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Item 4 on our agenda is public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications. Anybody wish to offer comment on any of those items? Okay, moving on to item 5, approval of the minutes from the July 27th, 2021 meeting. Any comments about the minutes? Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item 6 is approval of the bills. Any comments or questions about the bills?
Make a motion approval to pay the bills.
Okay, and I will second that. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item 7 is a public hearing on intermunicipal transfer of the liquor license into Millcreek Township. Liquor license is from Chaos to Freedom, LLC, 948 West Erie Plaza. Is there someone here representing that transfer? Do you mind coming up to the podium here, sir? Give us your name and address for the record.
My name is Craig Zona. The address is 456 West 6th Street, Erie, PA. I'm here on behalf of the applicant seeking the intermunicipal transfer of PLCB R3856 from the city of Erie to Millcreek Township.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any wish to speak on behalf of this application here? Okay, at this point, we'll close the hearing. Now, we'll turn on to Resolution 2021-R40. Mr. Shaw?
Sure. 2021-R40 is a resolution of Township of Millcreek, County of Erie, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, approving the intermunicipal transfer of Pennsylvania liquor license number R3856 into the Township of Millcreek from the City of Erie. The Township's role in this is simply more administrative than substantive. PLCB regulates these entities very tightly, and so the only issue really before the board is that this is a hearing that's required to give the public an opportunity to speak, and also the meeting's been properly advertised, and the recommendation would be to approve this transfer at this time.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2021-R40?
So moved.
And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, moving on to bids and quotations. First one is the Millcreek Township Sidewalk Accessibility Project, Phase 9, Change Order 2, Planning and Development. Mr. Waldinger.
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, as you're aware, Millcreek Township is in its final year of its consent decree with Voices for Independence in regards to accessible curb ramps throughout the township. We are finishing it up with this final contract. During the inspection of ramps, we discovered 2 additional ramps that were out of compliance, that were missed in the initial survey and need to be replaced. This would be the second change order to this contract. Each of the ramps is $2,300, so the change would be an additional $4,600 to the contract. The original contract came in the amount of $171,555. Change order number 2, which was approved on July 13th by the board, was in the amount of $36,800, and now with change order number 2, an additional $4,600. That brings the total for this contract to $212,955. All of these funds are covered by our CDBG funding for this year. So at this time, I would recommend that the board approve change order number 2 in the amount of $4,600.
I would note, Matt, that the Township actually has an additional year yet to complete these ramps, and is actually completing its obligations a year early. So kudos to the engineering department for achieving that.
Thank you.
Okay, any comments or questions from the board?
Matt, are these in specific locations, or is this just a general?
Yeah, they're in
I
specific-
don't see any locations on it. I was just curious where they are.
Yeah, I believed it was in here, but maybe it is not. I'm not aware of the locations.
Okay. I know it doesn't change the amount of funds, but I was just curious where they were.
I can get that information for you.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion, Dan, to approve this change order in the amount of $4,600.
Okay, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Second item would be the Millcreek Township 2021 paving contract number 2, change order number 1, Public Works. Mr. Snyder?
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you. Included in the paving contract are several handicap ramps that are triggered by the alteration of the roadways. One such ramp is located at the intersection of Cobblestone Drive and Deborah Drive. In order to install these ramps compliantly, there was a drop-off at the road in one area. To assure safely of pedestrians, a curb has been placed at that drop-off. Lindy Paving Incorporated was a successful bidder on the paving contract and has submitted a price of $1,343 to install the curbing. Public Works would recommend approval of this work order to Lindy Paving for the amount of $1,343. Monies for this change order will be taken from the funds for the paving operation this season.
Okay.
I think that
Location-wise,
intersection is wrong.
Yeah.
Is it Donna?
might be Donna Drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I had to.
Okay.
Any comments or questions from the board?
I'll make a motion for approval of this change order.
Okay. And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item would be carpeting, public works, building maintenance. Mr. Snyder?
This building maintenance is seeking permission to purchase carpeting from South One Supply, CoStar's contract number 0000535729, for the cost of $18,822.50. There is $35,000 in the capital budget for this project, leaving $16,177.50 in reserves. And the purchase would finish off the first floor offices along with Berkheimer's on the second floor, leaving only planning and development and emergency management be the only ones left to do next year.
Okay.
It would be my recommendation to purchase the carpet from South One Supply for CoStar's price, $18,822.50.
Any questions or comments?
I'll make a motion for approval of the purchasing of the carpet.
Okay, and I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item would be the salt barn roof repair, the labor portion, Public Works. Mr. Snyder?
Building maintenance is seeking permission to pay the labor for the installation of the new roof on the salt barn. The cost of the labor is $19,124.54. And the money to pay for this will come from the following sources. Reserves from AHU 1, $13,614.75, leaving a zero balance. This has been changed.
It's coming from the carpet reserve.
Carpet reserves of $4,509.79, and $1,000 from the two doors for Garage 2 capital expenditure, leaving a balance of $9,000. This work would be performed by the Clearspan Company, and this is a warranted repair. This would bring the total labor and materials to $29,158.04. It would be my recommendation to pay the labor for the cost of installation of the roof to Clearspan Company for the cost of $19,124.54.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion for approval of the salt barn roof repair as presented.
Okay, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item up will be security cameras, Public Works, building maintenance. Mr. Snyder?
Building maintenance is seeking permission to purchase and have installed 12 security cameras from the Wilkins Company for the cost of $14,165. This phase of the camera installation would finish up the township grounds from 26th Street to the existing salt barn. There was $25,000 budgeted for this phase, and will leave $10,835 in reserves. It would be my recommendation to purchase the 12 cameras and installation from the Wilkins Company for $14,165.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion for approval of the purchase of the security cameras.
And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item would be traffic controller upgrades, Public Works, Traffic, and Electrical Department. Gary?
The Traffic Department is seeking permission to purchase 5 traffic controllers from Traffic Products for $16,000 at various locations listed on the request. This would enable the entire loop to communicate with each location and help move traffic more efficiently. The monies would come from the traffic's capital budget marked shelving. There is $18,390 in reserves, minus the $16,000 would leave $2,390 in reserves. These controllers are proprietary to the cabinets, so that's why we only have the one company. This will efficiently make the corridor from Lowe's on 26th Street down Asbury and 12th Street from Asbury to Peninsula, so that they would all be contacting one another to make that a better traffic pattern down through there. So it would be my recommendation to purchase the controllers from Traffic Products for $16,000.
Okay, thank you. You answered my question about what corridor that was going to be in. All right.
I'll
Mr.
make
Bach,
a-
any questions?
No, I'll make a motion for approval
Okay,
as presented.
and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item, the composite grade rings and inserts, Public Works Sewer Department. Gary?
Okay, this is a two-part request. The first one is the sewer department is seeking permission to purchase 18 grade rings from Waterford Precast for the price of $1,187.64. These grade rings are not available from our other supplier. The money will come out of the sewer department's capital budget line item, maintenance and repair. There will be, after the other one is taken out, $174,609.19. It would be my recommendation to purchase these manhole grade rings from Waterford Precast for $1,187.64.
Okay, and you have another one besides that, or?
I do, but it's
okay.
from a different company.
Okay, let's act on this one first.
Okay.
there a
I'll
motion?
make a motion for approval of these, purchase of the grade rings and inserts.
Okay, and I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay. This one would be the sewer department, again, seeking permission to purchase 36 composite grade rings and 24 manhole inserts from LB Water for $5,570.20 under the CoStar's contract number 016026. These rings are used for raising manholes that are on slopes. They have built-in angles, so the manholes will be at the proper slope for the road. The inserts are used to keep water from infiltrating through the holes in the manhole lids. The monies will come out of the maintenance and repair line item in the sewer capital budget. At that time, it was $180,188.39 minus the item would be the $174,609.19 from the previous contract. It would be my recommendation to purchase these manhole grade rings and inserts from LB Water for the cost of $5,579.20.
Okay. Any comments or questions on this purchase?
I'll make a motion for approval.
And I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item on the agenda is the Canterbury Storm Sewer Repair, Public Works Sewer Department. Gary?
Yes. The Streets Department is seeking permission to have 190 linear feet of 15-inch storm sewer relined on Canterbury Drive. The work would be done by Insight Pipe Contracting for the cost of $13,545.10 under the CoStar's contract number 016. The monies would come from the Streets Department capital relining budget. There is $24,389.80 in reserves, minus the cost of the lining would leave $10,844.70 in reserves. It would be my recommendation to have Insight Pipe Contracting reline the Canterbury storm sewer.
Okay, any comments or questions?
No, sir. Make a motion for approval of that. Is it Insight?
Right.
Insight for the lining project?
Okay, I'll second. Mr. Bach?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Gary.
Next item up would be the ballistic vest packages from MPD. Carter, are you taking this, or?
Yes.
Okay.
On behalf of Chief Height, who's on vacation, on behalf of Chief Height, who's on vacation, I request approval for the purchase of 17 Safariland Hardwire Level 2 ballistic vest packages for the replacement of current expiring patrol officer and new animal enforcement officer vests from Uniform Outfitters LLC for a total price of $19,634.49. The Federal Bulletproof Vest Partnership will reimburse 50% of the funds for the purchase once payment is made. And I do have two quotes here. One from 1042 Tactical LLC out of Wheeling, West Virginia, in the amount of $28,496.25. And the other quote is from Uniform Outfitters for $19,634.49. And Uniform Outfitters has a special price offering authorized for a 3-year period, and nearly $9,000 savings over the other quote. And it's also requested for the approval of a budget amendment request authorizing the transfer of funds to cover the remaining balances determined by Treasurer Zakrzewski.
Yeah, and the budget amendment is attached, and we'd be pulling the additional funds from the contingency major purchase, equipment purchase line item in the police budget, capital budget.
All right. All right, any comments or questions on this item?
No, I think it's very much needed, important, obviously, for the officers, and good price as well. So I'll make a motion for approval of this package through Uniform Outfitters LLC and also the associated budget amendment.
Okay, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes?
And I vote yes. Next item will be a signboard software renewal. So it looks like it's spread amongst several departments here. Matt, you're going to handle it?
Yeah, I'll handle it. Thank you, Mr. Olet. Yes, this is a yearly renewal for the software that is required to operate the 2 mobile signboards. There's one that is operated and owned by the Streets Public Works Department and one by the Emergency Management Department. The costs for the boards will be split evenly, 1 board for each department. It will come out of each department's software maintenance expense account. The total cost is $950 for each signboard. So $950 will come out of the emergency management software maintenance account, leaving a balance of $11,270.01. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the current balance, is $11,270.01. And then the Public Works Streets Department maintenance, software maintenance account currently sits at $6,057.90. $950 would come out of that account. So it's our recommendation that we renew the signboard software with All Traffic Solutions for a total cost of $1,900 split between the 2 departments.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion for approval of this software maintenance contract with All Traffic Solutions.
Okay, I'll second that. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes?
And I vote yes. Okay, the next item up is Resolution 2021-R41, resolution pursuant to Resolution 2015-R20 and the Municipal Records Manual to approve proposed disposition of certain township records. Now, these would be disposing of MPD dash cam videos between August 11th of this year and August 24th due to reaching the end of their required retention period. Is there a motion for approval?
Make a motion to approve Resolution 2021-R41.
And I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes?
And I vote yes. Okay, Resolution 2021-R42, resolution approving Millcreek Township's fiscal year 2021 action plan requesting CDBG financial assistance from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Matt?
Thank you. Yes, this is an annual resolution that the township undertakes in order to approve our application for our community development block grant funding. This would be for fiscal year 2021, which actually is the funds that will be used during next year's construction season. Included in the packet is the resolution. There is also a form describing assurances regarding the application and certifications that the township must make that it will abide by the Community Development Block Grant Program. These forms are required as part of our application for these funds. It would be the recommendation of the Planning and Development Department that Mr. Olet, as the Vice Chair, be authorized to sign these applications and related forms, and that the board pass the attached resolution.
Okay. Any comments or questions?
I'll make a motion for approval of Resolution 2021-R42.
All right, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item number 11 is the credit card purchasing agreement. Mark, are you handling that?
I think between me and Lydia, we'll get this one covered.
Okay.
In conjunction with our software purchase with the Edmunds GovTech, they have a hardwired agreement with JP Morgan Chase for taking credit cards. Hence the need for this particular agreement. So it'll allow us to take credit card payments for streetlight assessments and for other community development type things like permits and whatnot via credit card. The agreement was submitted to the solicitor's office to be reviewed to make sure that there was nothing in there that was untoward, and we're good, right? There are a lot of the same reassurances as in Global Open Edge, where we've got to maintain PCI DSS compliance. That's a card industry standard for securing data and making sure that our systems are not going to contribute to any sort of data breaches.
Okay.
So it would be my recommendation that the chairman be authorized to sign the agreement so that we can then proceed with getting that account set up.
All right, thank you, Mark. Any comments or questions?
No, sir.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve this credit card purchasing agreement and authorize the chairman to sign same.
Okay, I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item 12 is the Stormwater Management Maintenance Agreement, Stormwater Management Plan for 880 Arbuckle Road, Christine Farrington, developer. Matt?
Yes, thank you. This is a stormwater management maintenance agreement for a private residence that's required to go through the full stormwater management requirements because they have more than 5,000 square feet of improvements. The plans have been reviewed by Greenman Peterson Incorporated, our contracted third-party reviewing agency, and the plans have been approved. So, Ms. Farrington has also submitted a stormwater maintenance agreement on the township approved form, and it's properly signed. So at this time, I would recommend that the board approve the stormwater management plan for the Farrington residence and also approve the stormwater maintenance agreement.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Any comments or questions?
No, sir. I'll make a motion for approval of the stormwater management maintenance agreement and management plan.
And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item 13 is the sidewalk deferral request for 880 Arbuckle Road, Christine Farrington, developer. Matt?
Thank you. Yes, this is for the same property. Ms. Farrington has requested a sidewalk deferral for the property at 880 Arbuckle Road. Looking at the other properties in the area, there is currently no sidewalk other than one limited stretch pretty far to the west of this property along Arbuckle Road. So at this time, we would recommend that the board grant this sidewalk deferral. Ms. Farrington has signed the required forms, which would obligate her to construct the sidewalk under certain conditions in the future if it's necessary or if adjoining property owners install sidewalks.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
I'll make a motion for approval of the sidewalk deferral request for 880 Arbuckle Road.
Okay, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item 14 is the financial security release request from the Hammocks RWF Millcreek 2 LLC developer. Matt?
Yes, thank you. This is for phase 2 of the Hammocks development off of Zook Road. They are asking for release of their financial security as they have completed all of their required improvements. We do have forms here from Greenman Peterson that they have completed everything. We have the forms on file. I'm sorry, they're not in your packet. We have checked Rob Donakowski from our office has checked, and everything that they are required to complete has been completed. So at this time, we recommend release of M&T Bank letter of credit number SB 226-884-0001 in the remaining amount of $14,250.
Any comments from the board?
No, sir, I'll make a motion for approval of this financial security release request from the Hammocks.
All right, I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to communications, treasurer communications. Mark, anything?
Nothing further at this time.
Okay. We have a new hire for a part-time person in dispatch. Jim, will you be handling this, or Captain Mook?
I can take it. We have requests from Diane Lyons, a new hire in our dispatch center. Christopher DiCarlo, police dispatcher, part-time, date of hire August 11th, 2021, at the rate of $12 per hour. Chris currently works for Erie Insurance. He was previously employed as a dispatcher for Erie County 911 Center for 2 years. This would increase our pool of part-time dispatchers that we utilize oftentimes for call-ins when the full-time dispatchers aren't available to fill in the gaps. I'll make a motion for approval of this new hire.
Okay. And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item will be a training request from MPD. Captain Mook?
Yes, sir. I have a request for approval for one patrol officer to attend a 3-day standardized field sobriety testing practitioner course, August 31st through September 2nd, sponsored by the PA State Police. It will be held in Cambridge Springs at the National Guard Armory. There's no cost for the training, and travel will be by department vehicle.
Okay. Thank you.
I'll make a motion, Dana, for approval of this training request.
All right, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item up would be a fire police request from Westridge Fire Department. Mr. Bach?
Yes, we have a request for 3 fire police officers for the cross-country meet at Brown's Farm on Stertania Road, September 4th, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. at the latest, for traffic control while crossing Stertania Road at the barn. This is, I believe, an annual event up there that we utilize, or the school district utilizes some fire police officers. I'll put that request in the form of a motion for approval.
Okay, and I will second. Mr. Bach?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item up would be the Iketo Picnic, which will be Thursday, August 26th at the Picnicana Park on Old French Road. The cost is $15 per person, and so far we have Supervisor Morgan and myself attending.
Supervisor Olet, if you could please have my name added to that as well.
Okay. And Mr. Shaw. I'd like to put that in a form of a motion, although I am going to pay my own way on this one, so I'll make a motion that we cover the other 2.
I'll second that motion, Dan.
Okay, Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Next item up is the Barber National Institute Beast on the Bay. And are you handling that, Jim?
As soon as I get my screen up, I'll give it a whirl. Okay. Mr. Ed Orzechowski from PennDOT he's wrote us a letter. This letter is to confirm that Millcreek Township is coordinating services with the Barber National Institute for their annual Barber Beast on the Bay event to be held on Sunday, September 11th, 2021. Our fire departments will be assisting the Barber Institute on site to ensure the safety of the participants at the event. I don't know if he's...
I think this is something from PennDOT requesting a letter from the township confirming this information.
Okay. We can certainly handle that.
Yep.
I think this is also an annual event, obviously, but I don't know if it was held last year or not, but,
I'm not sure if it was either, but
okay.
Is there-
We need a motion on it? I'll make a motion for approval of this letter to PennDOT.
and I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, executive sessions were held on July 29th and August 5th to discuss various legal issues. Moving on to solicitor communications. Mr. Shaw?
Yes, just one matter. We have if you recall, the supervisors had approved fire record-keeping software at the last meeting with emergency reporting at a cost of, I believe it was $5,928. It was actually a little bit less than that. Since that time, realized that the township's 929 team was not included as part of that package, and a request was made to add them with the package. They were able to do so, but it did modify the price. I believe the new price is now $5,928. So the recommendation is to approve that addition of the 929 team because they go on calls as well, and those calls should be tracked in the same fashion as the calls are for the other Millcreek Township fire departments.
Okay. Any comments?
Cheryl, was this on the agenda? Couldn't recall. Okay. So ask for any public comment on that, and then you can proceed.
Is there any public comment on this item, the additional cost to the records management system? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve this request.
All right, and I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
And I vote yes. Anything else, Mark?
Nothing else on our end.
Okay, moving on to next item on the agenda, citizens to be heard. Is there anyone here who'd like to address the board? Yeah, if you'd come up. Can we move that microphone to the end there?
Hi, my name is Mary Ann McDaniels-Kalesa, and I would like to talk about some personnel matters within Millcreek Township with an experience I had at the Bell Valley Pool last Friday. This is my attendant who helps and works with me. Ms. Williams, first I want to thank you for your direction and protocol on how I should do things, so thank you. I have a master's in communications, and I know it's always important to follow protocol or everything gets kind of lost. Do I have your permission to proceed?
You do. Public comments usually limited to 5 minutes.
Understood. How we go
Okay.
forward after this with how I am received will help me a lot at this
Sure.
point on what I intend to do.
Right.
Again, this is a personnel matter. I'm not sure that you want it. Are we not taping or filming? So I want to give you every opportunity to think about maybe closing the session.
Ma'am, under the second-class township code and state laws, Executive sessions regarding personnel matters are really reserved to matters of discussion amongst and between the supervisors and their staff, and so any third-party comments relating to personnel matters really can't go into executive session. So
Okay.
obviously you have the opportunity to meet with a supervisor, separately to express your concerns, or you can proceed in this manner.
Well, understanding that, I would prefer to proceed because I am concerned about the public at large and their safety at this point with what I experienced. I have returned after 12 long years in the Philadelphia area receiving some specialty medical care. And I have off and on lived here in Erie County, some of it for 20 years in Millcreek area. I put a brief resume highlighting some of my accomplishments on the last page. I usually don't toot my own horn, but after being referred to as at the Bell Valley Pool by 2 male personnel, I believe standing behind me, I was referred to as the fat chick from the projects up the hill. I live in the Cider Mill Apartments. It's about 400 yards from the Bell Valley Pool. I realize we are in a Trump era of cruelty now, but I never thought I would experience anything like this. I'm a former Human Relations Commissioner that served for 8 years in Erie County. I have been an EMT and a firefighter. In fact, I've received 2 awards for bravery. I did show at 4:30, and I did this in a chronological timeline, my gold card, and I had also done my due diligence and made phone calls to Ashley that reassured me that the chairlift would be able to support me. I'm not a little girl. I do not weigh 350 pounds, which was clearly on the side of the chairlift. Upon getting into the chairlift, it malfunctioned, and I kept bouncing abruptly. After 3 times hitting the ledge, I said, "Stop, I'll just slide in, and you're gonna have to figure out how to get me out later." Part of my spinal cord attempt to keep muscle tone is that I do aquatic therapy. I have now run out of Medicare benefits from January until about 6 weeks ago when I was released. I was very sick the last 3 or 4 weeks with some kind of bronchial thing. I had 2 COVID tests, so that was not it. I'm fully vaccinated. So at about 4:30, I slipped into the pool. At 5:10, I was a lot more tired than I thought I would be. I said, "What are you working on to get me out of this pool at this point?" At 5:40, the lifeguards asked everybody to leave. I said, "Are you doing this on my behalf?" She said, "Well, we only have 20 minutes left." I felt bad because a couple of dads had arrived with their kids, hurried from work. There was quite a discussion out front as to why they couldn't get in. At that point, Paul arrives at 5:45. I was also told by one of the lifeguards that as soon as he finishes dinner, he'll be here. So at 5:45, Paul arrives, doesn't talk or look at me. I said, "This is not a fixable item tonight." As I look back, the chairlift was now leaning aggressively towards the pool. It was out of the concrete at this point. Bolts were exposed. I mean, it was pretty obvious it wasn't something he was going to handle tonight. I would like at this time to ask what Paul's educational background
Ma'am,
is.
your 5 minutes is up.
Okay, well, I've submitted my testimony. I suggest you take a look at it. And again, how we go forward at this time will be up to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to say I ended up with the black guy during the altercation between Paul and my attendant.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board under the public comment portion?
I would.
All right, would you mind coming over to the podium, sir? Can you give us your name and address for the record?
Richard Recca, 5200 Henderson Road. I am Miss Colesa's attendant, and she was not treated fairly at that pool. Seemed like this guy, Paul, or Mark, whatever his name is, the maintenance man there, didn't seem to care a bit about her in the pool, and she's shivering. Hypothermia was setting in. He didn't care. He was more concerned about the chair. He had to fix the chair. I'm sorry, but that's his job. He should have been maintaining that chair. And if it was broke, he should have put a sign on there and told the 3 young teenage lifeguards that it didn't work. Those lifeguards were waiting for him to get out of dinner. Ms. Kalesa asked for Bell Valley Fire Department be called to get her out. He told those girls that he would call. He did not call them for a good 20, 30 minutes later when he arrived. She's shivering. The lady needed to get out. She has problems with her legs. Shame on him. After they came, they got a backboard that I brought to get her out from the side of the pool there. Take her out. He wouldn't do it. He pulled it out of my hands, this maintenance man. When the Bell Valley Fire Department came, they decided what to do. Put the backboard behind her, lift her up from the bottom, pull her out of the pool. It could have been done with 3 teenage girls, myself and him. I don't know where his experience is, or where his manners were, but it wasn't there that day. Shame on him. Please look into this. This is a matter that needs to be taken care of.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Recco. Is there anybody else that would like to address the board? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
In under an hour? Sure you don't want to go a little longer? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, meeting's adjourned.
At 10:17. Thank you.